Super excited to bring in another guest. Me and this guest go way back to right when I started my design and build business, and Chris Yancey was just bringing Perma Edge into the market. In my opinion, Chris basically revolutionized the industry by the creation of his concrete edge restraint and what it does for the strength and integrity of our projects. And now Chris has revolutionized the industry once again by bringing the PermaPacks to fruition. So thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. How's the show going for you this year, my man?
Oh, it's going great, Dan. Like you said, we go way back. I've always respected you so much from when we first met, and you were like, you're so intense with the quality of work that you do that, you didn't use Perma Edge right away. You're like, hey, I like what you're doing. I want to check it out. And those are the things that mean the most when someone cares about what they're doing and you actually try and use the product before you tell others that it's good. And I've watched you do that. I've watched you grow, and the show's been great. It's always great to be here with you, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's funny that I wasn't immediately on board with it. Still pounding spikes in the plastic edging in my open graded base. Really needed to bring myself out of my bat cave in Wisconsin and introduce myself to something that I feel is truly revolutionary for the industry. Now, when I put down this Perma Edge next to my, distinctive outdoor living, paving spaces, to me, it just looks like a more finished product out there. We're not going to see the black plastic edging. I'm old enough, we're both old enough to know to even go back to some of our projects we built and see the plastic edging sticking up out of the side because a spike has heaved or something like that. So just touch on that a little bit, Chris, on why you even started out, why you even ventured into inventing Perma Edge, however long ago that was for you.
As you know, I'm in Ohio. I've been hardscaping about 30 years. I've had my own business there in hardscape for about 20 years. And the spiked edgings were just a nemesis, man. I mean, it was like I was doing everything right. And it was the only thing that was failing me. I was like, that was the only thing. And I really wasn't getting like callbacks. It was just me going to check out jobs, seeing that edging, seeing the failure. And that's what drove me to create Perma Edge. I had the vision, the idea. We kind of used concrete for a while, but I realized, hey, we got to do something more to this because just standard concrete doesn't have the capabilities. And, I noticed from a lot of like posts, and I'm very grateful you promote the product because you believe in it. But I see so many people, concrete cracks. And we all know concrete is going to crack, right? I mean,
my line is always, it's not concrete, it's Perma Edge.
Right.
And we're here to tell you guys the difference today.
That's right. So it's like, we wanted to enhance it. Concrete typically is used for a 4 or 6 inch slab, sidewalk, driveway. So when we're doing a thin profile, we said, hey, let's make it more flexible. People have the misconception that it's got to be extremely strong. And as a paver edge, it's really about flexibility, not the PSI. Everyone's like, what's the PSI of it, man? And so like with our perma packs, I tell people, buy the cheap bag of concrete. We're giving you everything you need in our perma pack to enhance that, to make it more flexible. Now we have new water stop technology. Is basically going to keep the moisture and water out. Now I'm not going to sit here and say it's like 100% waterproof, but it is going to drive and push a lot of the moisture and water out, keep it out overall. Shrink control, which is a huge benefit on a hot, windy day. You're applying the project or the product, and you may have experienced this. If it's hot and windy, concrete will want to dry quickly and shrink, and you get like a false crack. So we have an additive in there now to prevent that. And so it's just all those little things that we're doing to make it specifically for a paver edging.
Yeah.
So that I love it, on a lot of your stuff because it's not concrete, it's Perma Edge. And that's where, just like you do distinctive hardscapes, we have a distinctive product that's made specifically, just like all the tools in our tool bag, right? Yeah. This is made specifically. I had a guy tell me yesterday, he's like, man, we've been using your stuff for 3 years. And he said, what I really like about it, he said, my homeowners come out and they see me like putting this concrete down and they're like, Oh my God. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like next level.
It takes your project to the next level. That's exactly what I said when I did it. It literally takes your project to the next level. And I loved how you touch on. I was doing everything right. You know, my project looks perfect. Then I go back there to check on it, and I'm seeing this black edging that's heaving up. You know, on top of that, you know, at my age, right before I switched to Perma Edge, I was getting sick of pounding those spikes in every 6 inches. So on top of that, all that work I went through to have this plastic edging sit next to, you know, either some natural stone, maybe even sometimes, or, you know, just some of these beautiful precast products that are out there, you know, they deserve Perma Edge next to them for the integrity of the project, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great for the natural stone. You know, like you said, a lot of people have the misconception. I mean, there's some guys that have been in the industry a long time that have either never been taught or were taught the wrong way. And I run into so many people, believe it or not, that are putting their edging on top of their bedding layer. And it's just you don't know what you don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
And the biggest misconception with paver edging is because it's called paver edging, people think that paver edging is meant to hold the paver in. Its main purpose is to dam in that bedding layer. You know, the open grade gospel. Yeah. I love it. It's like whether you're using dents with sand or chips, the main purpose of a paver edging is to dam that bedding in. If that bedding layer can never erode out or native soil can't come in, your edge is never going to fail. And so that's why, and I probably don't preach it enough, is stay low on the paver. We hear people like, oh, I can't grow grass on that. And if you stay low on the paver, it's going to perform better. You're not going to have an issue with grass growth, and you're going to get more lineal footage out of it. Yes. And I think human nature says, let me go high. Let's put more on there. Let's pack this sucker in good. And even myself, sometimes I'm out there helping my guys on a job, a project, you know, and I'm like, oh man, I got to stay low.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you said that. And we have multiple video tutorials on our website. That's another reason we partner with Perma Edge, is to get the information out there on how to correctly install this stuff. So Chris mentioned taking away your bedding layer. We have videos on how you do that, and keeping this low on the side of the paver. We don't want to hear that, you know, Mrs. Jones can't grow grass on there, or you can see it when they put the river rock on the side of it. So we're keeping this a third to half the way up the brick at the highest, guys. This is holding in the bedding layer and the bottom half of the paver, and that's it. So you still want to see that side profile of your border paver when you're doing this stuff, to allow that topsoil to go up against there, or whatever that decorative mulch is that you're putting in that bed. So I'm glad you talked about the packs a little bit, Chris. And I think a lot of people are familiar with Perma Edge being the buckets, and we all love the buckets. But now, what is the benefit of getting these packs out there, and how have they even gotten better than what was in the buckets, right?
yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm glad you mentioned that because you know, with our bucket product, obviously, you know, we're the original. We're the ones that brought the wet edge to the industry. Just like anything good that comes along, other people see that and they start to create their own products, and that's fine. You know, it keeps competition and it keeps us all on our toes. But the distinctive thing with Perma Edge when we pre-blended it all was that we were the only ones using non-porous aggregates, and all concretes are 80% aggregate, typically a limestone, pea gravel, and sand, or a granite, depending on what region of the country you're in. So you got to think you're putting edging under mulch, topsoil, stone. It doesn't get sunlight or wind, so it really doesn't dry out. So a huge benefit to our bucket product was non-porous aggregates. And as you know from talking, we test every year. We have a really good opportunity with a local engineering college, the University of Dayton, you know, and so we work with the students. We do lots of testing every year, and we're always trying to see what can we do, because we want to make sure that we're offering contractors the best, you know, at a decent price point. So the past couple of years, we started testing with water stop technology, and what we ran into was it performed so well with some water stop waterproofing admixture that it allowed us to use regular aggregate. The one benefit of a porous aggregate is you do get better bonding. As you can imagine, that Portland cement can bond into the pores of that stone. So you do get better bonding, and with the water stop, it eliminated the need for the non-porous aggregate. And that's what drove us to create permapacks because, and we know, I mean, I really appreciate it. There's so many people who are like, man, bring back the bucket. We love the bucket. And that makes me feel good, you know, because that's why we created it. But I think at the end of the day, when you say, hey, we got our blue pack that can be blended with an 80-pound bag of concrete, the buckets are 75. You can buy a pack of this and your bag of concrete and be under half the cost of what a bucket was, and it outperforms it. So it was kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know that's pre-blended, but that's what enabled us to step into a standard bag of concrete. And we're giving you, I would say it's like adding Crystal Light to water, right? We have all these drink enhancers nowadays, the Alani, the Crystal Light. Yeah. And it's way cheaper to buy that and add it in your water instead of buying the can, right?
Yeah, right.
So we just took the same thing and said, hey, let's nix out the cost of us blending this in a 30,000 square foot facility for convenience. And you could buy 2 of these for the price of 1 bucket and have a better product.
Yeah, perfect. So I hope you guys heard the passion in Chris's voice, why he's continually creating this, why he's continually doing the research on this, you know, in labs at universities, is because he cares about the contractors. There's nothing else that is driving this man's mission other than the success of other contractors, which is 100% why Chris has become my friend, my ally in this industry, and a #1 partner for Hardscape Mentors because of his passion and how he believes in making the industry better. So always good to see you, my man. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I know
I love sitting down with you, Dan. I know. I do some other things. I get a little nervous, but sitting with you is just like I could sit, you know, having a coffee or a beer and just like talking with a buddy.
100%. I love sitting you down with you, Chris. And like you said, you know, 30 years of experience there, 26 years of experience here. I think we could sit here and talk all day and provide information back to these young guys getting started. But the #1 thing we want to get out there with you is to hook up with Chris Yancey and Perma Edge. Get these permapacks on your next project. You can join the herd. You join us in our monthly mastermind. We got these permapacks flying off the shelves. We'll give you some free samples in the mail, courtesy of Chris. And then when you need your next packs, you reach out to Chris to get them sent to you. So, and we'll see you out there, my man.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.